Justin Gaethje is set to accept a challenge at UFC 313, proving once again that he never backs down from a fight. Despite being on the wrong end of a highlight reel knockout when Max Holloway pointed to the center of the octagon and invited him to stand and trade, Gaethje remains undeterred. During his Fight Week media scrum on Wednesday, he reaffirmed his warrior mentality, stating that if an opponent dares him to stand and bang in the middle of the octagon, he will accept the challenge every time.
If you've ever seen me fight, you'll know I will accept that challenge every single time. When he pointed to the ground, I said yes and ran to the middle. So absolutely.
Ahead of Saturday's rematch, Five reflected on their first fight, stating that he was ready for war while his opponent was focused on winning, which only motivates him more. Despite coming off a loss to Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje remains ranked number 3 at 155 and is optimistic that a victory could put him back in title contention. He emphasized that his exciting fighting style and consistency inside the octagon make him a strong contender. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler is facing heavy criticism, with both Dustin Poirier and Gaethje calling him out for alleged cheating. Poirier recently accused Chandler of using dirty tactics in their fight and having a fake personality off camera, while Gaethje also took shots at Chandler during UFC 313 Media Day, further adding to the growing scrutiny around him. With both Gaethje and Fiv aiming for a crucial win, the stakes couldn't be higher.
We fight in open finger gloves. Like, there's no preventing eye pokes in here. At the end of the day, I think it's blatant fouls. Like hitting a lot of Michael Chandler, pretty much everything he does, immediate point taken away. Smoking people in the back of the head. There's things that you can do on purpose, and then there's eye pokes. Like I said, it's almost impossible to purposely poke someone in the eye. That's a very small target, and we're trying to hit each other in the head, and a lot of the times that's hard to do. So.
Renato Moicano has finally broken his silence on why he didn't accept a fight at UFC 313 after Dan Hooker pulled out, speaking on his What? Show Me the Money podcast. Moicano addressed the situation, explaining his reasons for turning down the opportunity.
Just to clarify, people were saying that I ran from the fight, but to be honest, UFC messaged me and I said, hey, I am 190. We can do a catch weight, but they didn't want a catch weight, so yeah. It is what it is. Just that. And I think Gaethje will. I think so.
Yeah.
I think Gaethje will beat Fiziev. But that's a very competitive fight, and that's a very good fight to watch again.
Israel Adesanya has shared his official prediction for the upcoming fight between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, confidently backing Pereira to not only win but to secure a finish in the later rounds. In a Fight Week video on his Freestyle Bender 1 channel, Adesanya cited Pereira's momentum and recovery as key factors that make him believe Pereira will emerge victorious this weekend.
Regardless, I'm going to go Pereira because momentum. He's just on a tear right now. Pereira got rocked by Roundtree. Well, he was able to recover very well. I said that as well. In New York, I remember I said Pereira, his recovery, that's one thing that's really good. Not just cardiovascularly, but just energetically, spiritually. Like, he's able to just recover really well. But Ankalaev, speed, he'll have to catch Alex. But I just think this is going to go leg kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks, left hook. Alex Pereira. Bye. I'm gonna go KO. It's gonna knock him out in the 4th or 5th round.
As Magomed Ankalaev has made it clear that he plans to rely on his grappling against Alex Pereira on Saturday night, the fight is shaping up to be a classic striker versus grappler matchup, with Ankalaev looking to take it to the ground while Pereira aims to keep it standing. Meanwhile, Dana White recently provided an optimistic update on the potential Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight, stating on the Jim Rome Show that although nothing is finalized, his goal is to make the fight happen this summer. With uncertainty surrounding Jones's recovery and title unification talks, fans have been skeptical, but White remains hopeful. During a separate interview, Ali Abdelaziz was asked about the fight, but remained vague, suggesting it depends on various factors. If the bout happens, it could go down as one of the biggest heavyweight fights in UFC history. Adding to the excitement, Dana White also revealed that if Alex Pereira wins at UFC 313, he could earn a shot at facing the winner. of Jones versus Aspinall, further raising the stakes for this weekend's event.
He wants to. He wants to. Well, I'll have to. Let's see how this fight plays out. If he wins, how he wins, and all that kind of stuff. But the fight that everybody wants to see right now is Jones and Aspinall. And then there's no doubt that Pereira could fight the winner.
Ilia Topuria's move to lightweight has sparked speculation about his UFC debut at 155, but no official fight has been announced. While he has his sights set on a title fight, Ariel Helwani suggested that his path may depend on Belal Muhammad's fight outcome, which could open the door for Islam Makhachev to move up to 170. Topuria's manager, Malki Kawa, confirmed that discussions with the UFC have taken place and that the promotion hasn't ruled out a title shot, emphasizing that the move was made with longevity in mind due to Topuria's extreme weight cuts. Meanwhile, Magomed Ankalaev has fired back at Alex Pereira after Pereira called him out for not fasting during Ramadan, warning that such comments are only making things worse for him. Ankalaev clarified that while he has been fasting, he has made exceptions during fight week to stay hydrated for weight cutting. Confident in his abilities, Ankalaev hinted at a striking battle, but remains open to adjustments inside the octagon. On the other hand, Dana White has stated that a win on Saturday could cement Pereira as the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, given the serious challenge Ankalaev presents. Despite initially wanting to fight Ankalaev at UFC 305, Pereira had to wait due to the UFC citing a lack of hype for the matchup, but now the two will finally settle the score. In other news, Bobby Green has opened up about his recent loss to Paddy Pimblett, admitting that a mistake led to him getting caught in a first-round triangle choke. Speaking ahead of his upcoming fight against Mauricio Rufy, Green described the loss as a blooper, explaining that Pimblett kicked his leg out from under him, leading to the fight-ending submission.
A mistake I made and just slept on a banana peel, and it is what it is. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep real with you. Hurt real bad, and I have to go all the way over his pond and deal with all the craziness, you know? I did it all, and I put it all on the line, and sometimes you go for the best, and sometimes you fall a little short, you know?
Although Bobby Green admitted that his loss to Paddy Pimblett felt like losing the Super Bowl, he took inspiration from Max Holloway's mindset, saying, "It is what it is." Now, as he prepares to face Mauricio Rufy this weekend, Green is focused on getting back in the win column and proving he remains a step ahead of the next generation of lightweights. Meanwhile, Dana White has provided new details about the long-rumored boxing league, which has now become a reality through a partnership between the UFC, TKO, and Turki Alalshik. While initial reports suggested the new venture wouldn't cost the UFC or TKO anything, specific details have been scarce. However, during a joint appearance on the Pat McAfee show this week, Dana and Turki teased a major fight and hinted at a potential first event on September 12th. Despite many UFC fighters expressing interest in transitioning to boxing, Dana confirmed that he has no plans to allow crossover fights between the two sports under this new endeavor.
No, never. I'm sure there are guys that want to box, but I literally don't want to see any of that. We'll keep the boxers in the boxing and the MMA guys in the MMA, but...
Alex Pereira sees the UFC's new boxing venture as an opportunity to potentially face heavyweight boxing champion Alexander Usyk, who recently floated the idea of a fight between them. Speaking to the Mac Lifes, Oscar Willis, Pereira expressed excitement about the news, even hinting at a possible showdown in Saudi Arabia this September. Whether the UFC will make an exception for Pereira remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Dana White has officially cut Julian Marquez from the UFC following 4 consecutive losses, with his most recent defeat coming via first-round knockout against Cody Brundage at UFC Vegas 103. Marquez, who debuted in 2017 and went 3-5 in the UFC, needed a win to keep his spot on the roster but couldn't deliver. Although his UFC run has ended, the 34-year-old may still have a future in MMA. However, Marquez will always be remembered for one of the biggest fumbles in MMA history, his viral Valentine's Day exchange with Miley Cyrus in 2021. After his fight, he asked her to be his Valentine, and she responded with a playful challenge to shave MC into his chest hair. Instead of accepting, Marquez countered by suggesting she get a Cuban Missile Crisis tattoo like Tupac, effectively missing his shot in legendary fashion.